Hi, we are back with a series of games from the Star Game Plus channel. Resident Evil is considered the biggest and most important franchise among horror games. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, be sure to subscribe. So let's meet together. Resident Evil 1, 1996. In this game, two famous and popular agents of STARS, that is, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, are the main characters. The first game of the Resident Evil series includes all its classic features: horror violence, mystery, fixed camera angles, scary pre-rendered backgrounds, claustrophobic environments, and backpack management. As Chris, or Jill, you will explore Spence's mansion to find the missing Bravo team. That too in the ruins of Umbrella Company. Resident Evil 2, 1998. In this game, you will accompany two main characters, Claire Redfield, sister of Chris Redfield, and Leanne S. Kennedy, a student officer and a newly arrived member of the Raccoon City Police Department, each of which has its own storyline. Of course, Leanne is accompanied in the story by a mysterious woman named Ida Wang, which helps him in some situations. After Spence's adventures, Raccoon City is infected with the T virus. As a result of the spread of this virus, this city is occupied by the Walking Dead or zombies. Claire and Leanne are stuck at the Raccoon City police station, trying to escape the rampant T virus outbreak, while Claire finds Sherry Birkin and protects her as well. Sherry is the little daughter of Dr. William Birkin. He is very important for the story of the next games, including Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 3. The story of Resident Evil 3 begins on September 27, 1998. It starts the day before the events of Resident Evil 2 and ends on October 1st. That is, after the events of the second game. Raccoon City is completely destroyed, and the Umbrella Corporation uses it to test the biological weapons. These bioweapons are targeted to kill members of the STARS group. The members of this group disappeared in the city after the incident of Spence's Palace, the first game and the second part of the story of Resident Evil. But the Umbrella Company, whose secret was revealed to them, intended to destroy them. The Resident Evil 3 game takes place in the urban environment and plays the role of one of the two main characters of the Resident Evil game, Jill Valentine. Due to the fact that Jill is one of the trained and expert police forces, the creators made this part of the game with more focus on action. The remake version of this part of the game is available in stores. Resident Evil 4. It is considered a huge success for this series. The game also took the series in a more action-oriented direction. Many changes were introduced to the series with this game. It was the first game in the series to move away from the fixed camera and introduce an over-the-shoulder angle. While this game is known as a sequel to the story of the Resident Evil games series, its story can also be experienced on its own. In the Resident Evil timeline, this game takes place after the Veronica Code game. In this game, you will again lead Leanne S. Kennedy. In this game, he is a special government agent who goes to a village in Spain to save the president's daughter who has been taken hostage. Resident Evil 5. In this game, Chris Redfield and Shaw Alomar are the main characters. Of course, you mainly control Chris in the game. Both characters are trying to stop the illegal activities of a company called TRICELL in Africa. Their adventures take place in March 2009, 11 years after the first part of the story of Resident Evil. Resident Evil 5 is known for its emphasis on third-person action similar to Resident Evil 4. Also, this game supports two-player cooperative gameplay. In this case, one of the players takes control of Chris and the other takes control of Shaw. Resident Evil 6. This game has 4 different storylines. In order to understand the plot of this game, you must experience all 4 stories. Each of these stories is accompanied by a main character and 4 characters are involved in each. The story of this game takes a total of 2 years. Resident Evil 6 takes place in 2012 and 2013 in the Resident Evil timeline. Chris Redfield, Leanne S. Kennedy, Ida Wang, and Jake Mueller, who turns out to be the illegitimate son of one of the series' classic villains, Albert Wesker, are playable. Sherry Birkin, the little daughter of Dr. Birkin from Resident Evil 2, is also present in this game. This time, of course, in the stature of an adult woman who cooperates with the US government in the field of special security missions. Resident Evil 7. The fact that the events of this game are not related to the story and the main characters of the series, we finally realize that the game took place in the same world and related to them. Also, it is clear that the story takes place completely after the other games in the series. As groundbreaking as Resident Evil 4 was in 2005, this game revolutionized the franchise. For the first time in the history of the series, a Resident Evil experience was seen with a first-person camera. This game moved away from the action and tried to revive the elements of horror. Focusing on fear, the main character of the game is placed in situations that can no longer be saved by shooting. The main character of this game is called Ethan Winters. In search of his wife MIA, he falls into the trap of the Baker family. This game, which was released in 2017, obviously has a separate story from the series. However, when the story of the game ends, the player also realizes its connections. Resident Evil 8, the latest version of Resident Evil, behind its modern and contemporary appearance, has a good loyalty to the roots and original atmosphere of the series. The Resident Evil series, since its first version was released and introduced us to its zombie world, has undergone many changes and has involved us in its adventures from the streets of Raccoon City to a village in Africa. In addition to all the original and minor versions and online games that it is better not to talk about, the original and numbered versions of this game have reached Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 8 in the latest station. The game is the sequel to the 7th version, and we have to see how successful Capcom is in providing a good experience of Resident Evil in this version. So please watch the video review of the game first.